Hi everyone, David Orlando here. This week we're talking about JSON, which is a type of application kind of connector to go from systems to systems. This is one I actually haven't worked with directly. I've worked with REST API, I've worked with SOAP APIs, along with a couple other languages or codings. I've worked with XML scripting, but I've never really done much with JSON. But I do manage a contract where they work on like a mission partner tracker that does use JSON files to integrate, but I've never done it directly. I think that the first good point for JSON is that it's not JavaScript, but it was based on it, and it's got a very similar language, and I think that gave JSON a really good leg up in the industry as compared to like XML, which is probably its most closest competitor, because of just the advantage of having that recognizable name for a lot of integrations. Um, Another thing is when you compare it to XML files, there's a good amount of simplicity and compatibility that JSON scripts have with JavaScript. Um, but I think that that point still holds true that JSON owes a lot of its popularity to JavaScript being so popular and having a connection there. I do know that JSON does pull in a lot easier configuration, especially from a security standpoint, because I dealt with a project that used XML for a cross-domain solution tie-in script, and when we were applying the STIGs and the security controls to that, it was a headache. And there was many times where we had hoped that we could use JSON. I didn't know why 100% at the time, but my teammates did. Um, and if we would have used JSON, it would have been easier, quicker. Um, I'll also say that with using JSON and JavaScript, it can help. Just from what I've read and from what that project kind of has going on, it helps with like web applications that are overly compartmentalized, like they're tableted, like where you have different pieces of applications put in different compartmentalized groups, so you can have almost application components, and that way, whenever you're coding, you can update or do maintenance on particular portions of code, and it's I guess compartmentalized is the best word for it, but it's contained within its own unique group, and you don't have to completely revamp the entire web application when doing it. Two good examples of where JSON's being used in the industry, um, and I wanted to use examples that really kind of fall into my career scope right now. The first one is actually the STIG viewer, which is the security compliance checker for DoD systems, uses JSON templates for its, I guess, STIG viewing, I guess, templates that get used in the JavaScript application that runs those templates and runs those STIG scans and checks. That's kind of a hard one to find, but it does use those. Another good one is virtual machine templates, especially with the security controls that Microsoft Azure uses for deploying, I guess, pre-customized versions of operating systems that has a VM that already has a bunch of security controls put into it. They used to use a lot of Slipstream, where they'd put up patches and updates and configuration changes into operating systems before, but now that we have virtual machines, I know that at least Azure with Microsoft uses it. I think VMware may also use it for some of its ESXi templates. I'll have to confirm that, but I know that virtual machines use it for pre-customization of those. But those are my kind of talking points for this one. But any questions or any commentary on that? I'd be glad to start the discussion. Thanks, everyone.